Be fun. Ooh.
Let go.
Start recording. What's up? Welcome into your TBC Weekly. We appreciate you guys joining us. Pop in here. We're taking calls. So many things to talk about. Apparently, another meltdown up in East Lansing. Not surprised. Why did it take so long? It's my question. What was it? 2 years? A year? Year and a half? Oh boy. So we got Shawn behind the lines. He's coming to us live from East Lansing with the latest. He is right outside Mel Tucker's office. Shawn, do you see a lot of cigar smoke?
I feel a lot of shock. It was strange. I actually walked into a buddy's place this morning. I did all my yard work, got my stuff done. I was out of the bubble. I walked into a buddy, a Spartan buddy's home bar, and I was like, I saw the Spartans play. I'm like, you know what? I think Spartans are going to hit that over. You know, I think I got them down for like 6-7 wins. They're like, you haven't seen the news, have you? I was like, no, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, yeah, you might want to rethink that. And so kind of blindsided me on it. And then as the day progressed and so on and so forth, I don't know the details on it, but and I don't even know what to make of it. Bad for my daughter for going there. I'd like my daughter to go to a school that's going to be good at football. I think, but here's my hope, and here's what I came to. I feel like if Ishbia wants to throw like $100 million at the new Colorado coach, maybe they could bring him and his old crew, because they need like a whole new crew at East Lansing. So maybe you bring
coaches
Prime.
Colorado.
Well, isn't that where Tuck came from? And then you bring Prime in there. You bring Prime.
Okay.
I feel like that's Prime's the only guy that can save East Lansing.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Hold that thought. So we're going to get into the Michigan State Mel Tucker saga here. But first, we got to do things the right way and kick it off with our guy, the only guy.
The only guy?
Tyvis.
Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
All right. Thank you, Tyvis. Appreciate you. So, obviously, folks, we're going to talk in some extent about the Michigan State thing. Things are up in the air, but the way it looks right now, if Tuck has not been fired,
no, he has.
It's just a formality.
Oh, I think that's done.
I'm reading about a formal investigation that will be concluded October 5th. So regardless, D'Antonio
they got everyone process.
D'Antonio is in as assistant to the regional manager. And who's the other dude here that's taken over? Shit. I just had it. 1 second. Barfart. What'd you say?
Barnhart, I think the old D'Antonio, probably even a Buckeye guy. He's been there the longest, 15 years. To me, the play is you see if this guy coming up through the D'Antonio mindset, probably some Tressel era stuff, chip on your shoulder.
Barnett. Harlan Barnett, Shawn.
Yeah.
He's the interim coach. But so Mark D'Antonio will assist the staff as associate head coach.
I feel like he's their fickle hire or their fickle stopgap, and we'll see if this guy can do well. I just don't know. Other than Deion Sanders, I almost think you're going to have to grow this thing organically from within. I mean, I guess Michigan State to me is probably still a top 20 spot.
Ooh,
for a head coach.
Ooh,
really?
I'd say
ooh.
top 20. Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say top 6 in the
No.
Big Ten. As far as Big Ten teams go, I'd say probably 6. Right?
As
6?
far as
Okay. Top half. Yeah. All right.
Where are you going to put them? I mean,
well,
obviously, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Where's the better spot? Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Iowa?
Wisconsin.
That's about it. No, not Iowa.
I don't
No.
know.
Iowa, I'll tell you
So,
what though, if you can go 9-3 and score 12 points a game and be a king in Iowa, I mean it's not a better overall program, but I
no,
mean
but
shit, Ferentz
but
is
that's where
the
you're going to sit
godfather.
down. That's where you're going to sit down and coach them for 30 years, like Ferenc. If you want to be a next level guy, that's not where you're going.
I would say
Well,
I
yeah.
would say
Now that you're going divisionless in the Big Ten starting next year, I think
and adding who we're
that
adding, yeah.
Sparty's going to get pushed down a run.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I said 20, and you guys were like, I don't think so. Tell me
No.
fucking
In the
20
country.
programs that would.
I-
Yeah,
in
actually, when I rethink about it, it's probably fucking 15, top 15.
Sean, Sean, I would
What have
give
they
you
done?
I could rattle off 25 schools where there are better programs and better places, better programs in general for coaching opportunities. Easily 25 more.
I don't think so.
They might be in the top 6 of the current Big Ten, but every school that's coming into the Big Ten, I say is a better job.
Have any of those
And-
made the playoff?
Yes,
Sparty did.
Yeah. Or I mean, Washington has. I think Washington's a better spot than East Lansing. Oregon for sure. USC
USC.
for sure. UCLA even I think would be. If you're getting offered East Lansing and UCLA, which money being equal, I think you go. I think you go to UCLA. I personally would. And then you're not even the SEC. Probably all but 2 programs in the SEC because of the money they're willing to spend, the give a damn level, the support. Higher, I don't know. It'd be interested to see. They got a process. They got to do a process with this. There's a huge buyout there. They got to make sure that they have all their T's and T's crossed, I's dotted, to make sure that they don't. They have to get out of that having to pay him any money. So they're gonna do that process. Joe, you said October 5th. Yeah, they got to make sure that they do it all in order, so they don't have to pay him any of that money. So they're not going to just fire him off.
He's not going to coach. That's the thing. He's not coaching until he gets fired officially.
Sparty's not a big draw for any older coach. The only thing that Sparty needs an up and coming spark plug, something new. It's not like a 50, 60-year-old coach is going to come in there and whatever. They need a whole.
Joe, I was thinking PJ. I thought PJ Fleck. That's the name I thought.
Well, when he said spark plug,
right before you said it.
Yeah, but Minnesota's in the same. Minnesota is
Gym rat.
Michigan State. To me, that's lateral at this point.
Oh,
that's
sure, but
that's not an upgrade in jobs. So,
but there's more money at Michigan State if the HBU guy if they're going to put out a big big time contract like what he did, what Tucker just got. Minnesota and some of the other schools aren't throwing that money out there.
Or does some of these guys that are throwing this kind of money around realize that, oh, fuck, we need to really, all right, tame it down a bit because there's no ROI here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
huge fan of the Roy. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard, to get things out there, where you kind of caught us midstream here in a conversation, Tucker has reportedly been fired / suspended without pay by Michigan State, but surrounding some kind of scandal with Brenda Tracy, the anti-rape activist. This is USA Today has released this article, and so she worked for Sparty. She goes around the country. So just to give you a broad overview what she does about abroad. She goes around the country talking to student athletes and even just students about sexual violence and all of those things that surround it. Now, supposedly, Mel Tucker brought her in. She spoke to the team. They struck up some kind of relationship of some sort. Who knows to what degree? I mean, this seems like maybe one person saw it one way and one saw it another. Tucker claims that Brenda Tracy wanted him to be her sugar daddy. It's very weird claim to make. And then
why is that weird?
she complained. Yeah, that seems like a problem. Then she claimed that she reported the thing to the university, saying that the coach made sexual comments and masturbated during a phone call with her back in 2022. So Tucker allegedly admitted to the masturbating phone call, but he says it was consensual. So maybe the phone said yes, and he said yes. So I don't know who consented there, but anyways,
never going to be provable.
So yeah, this is going to be probably a messy thing as far as the investigation, and then you're going to have his lawyers going to court for the rest of his contract. But as far as a buyout, Tucker has a buyout clause that changes year to year. So as of right now, he would owe the university $1.5 million if he leaves. So that's where we're at. Not a big deal, in my opinion. I mean, just a coaching
super
change.
Complicated. I think it's what Michigan State wanted. Almost, they like, what are we going to do with Tucker? I don't think that he was the guy. That was a panic hire from the start. It was a bad hire. It was overpaid from the get-go. And here we are.
The question is, who will they overpay for next?
It's so weird. And I don't, the only thing I didn't understand, and I think it's down from sexual assault or whatever. I'm like, you can't sexually assault someone over a telephone. I'm like, they can just hang up, right? Like, you can't. Like,
you would think.
Can't they hang up whenever they want?
Unless they're seated right next to you and you have the phone taped to their head.
I mean, seriously. So I almost feel like, again, my conspiracy mind, like, what? Like, this is almost a setup. And the one girl that he does this with is like the fucking rape, anti-rape crazy lady. It's like, that's the one guy he fucking jerks off with. And how do you have evidence of it? To me, it sounds like a setup. I don't buy it. It's like the grassy knoll. And I feel like they
the second shooter.
They came and got Tucker. And it's probably, I mean, for the football game, probably the right move, but damn, these people are harsh. They're coming.
I tell you, it's probably a way to get out of paying that full contract when
I'm telling you.
That's it.
You got an outdoor, you know.
That's a horrible situation, because there's going to be investigations to her and to him. They're going to look at phone records and all this stuff.
Of all the people on the planet that you would actually try and maybe have a weird thing like that, and I mean, with her, that's the one that just something doesn't jive with me there. There's facts that we don't know. I feel like they were either more intimate or what. Who knows? And I don't really care. Probably going to be best all the way around for everyone. Michigan State football.
I think Sparty gets rid of a coach that was going nowhere quickly. And saves them some cash. They'll have to go to court, but
agreed.
They're definitely not paying $100 million contract. So that's good for them, and then they can move on quickly. I mean, they tried it for 2 years, and hit the eject button.
They were like three, because they paid him after he beat Harbaugh in that shit year. And
the COVID year. COVID year was 20. 20 was the COVID year.
What was it? He came in and had like an 11-win year though, with a pretty mediocre.
That was the first. That was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, they only had 2 losses.
Kenneth Walker was running back.
Purdue.
Yeah.
They beat Miami. Yeah. They beat Penn State that year. And then last year, though, they only had 5 wins. That's when they lost all those transfers that they brought in.
And there's probably stories regarding that kind of stuff too. So it was just like things were building up. Then this hits the pages, and they're like, "No." But that girl, that lady is, her background's gonna be investigated. Was there any of these other types of issues at other schools she had been at? Had she developed relationships with other coaches? His people will get on, digging into her background. It's gonna get messy. But man, that's a wrong person to be kind of defaming, I guess. It just looks horrible all the way around. If she's above board and a total, pro, and she's out doing a good cause. If she's legitimately that type of woman that's trying to make a difference, and he's trying to be out slandering her, saying she wanted this, she made these advances.
Kool-Aid here, man.
It better be true, man. That's a bad look. You might not get another job. If you're defaming the wrong person. So.
Right. All right. Let's move it on. This is not a Michigan State podcast.
We don't give a shit really.
Let's check on the chat real quick before we get rolling on to Youngstown State recap and the rest. So Billy says, Billy, first one in, by the way. Billy says, you be head coach and I'll be OC. What do you say, Joe? Is East Lansing nice? Shawn, is East Lansing nice?
Yes and no. East Lansing, actually the Michigan State University, the campus is probably, from what I've heard, and I haven't been to all of them, maybe the nicest campus of all of it. It's a beautiful campus. Really nice. East Lansing, outside of that, not so much.
Okay. All right, so there you go, Billy. Odysseus says that's the weirdest story. Tucker in an affair with Tracy. Billy says, Shawn, you could be the DC. Odysseus says prime to Michigan State. So Shawn, you and Odysseus are in lockstep there. Billy says the cover 3 guys said Sean Lewis might be a good choice. I don't know who Sean Lewis is off the top of my head. Billy says Michigan State has money to pay a coach. Odysseus says maybe they have Tom Izzo coach football. Yeah, why not? It named the stadium after him, right? Isn't the stadium named after him, even though he coaches basketball?
I was thinking Izzo. Izzo.
There you go. Straight to the Izzo. Billy says university would owe him $70 million today, but buy him out or thereabouts. So there you go. You save yourself 30% on that contract if they buy him out. All right. So the t-shirt giveaway has been a huge success. I've given away shirts 2 weeks in a row. PC, my guy PC is the winner this week. He nailed the score, 42 points. Buckeyes won 35-7. That equals 42 in my elementary school. So PC, I'll email you.
Didn't I go 42-0? I nailed that shit too.
Good. You don't get a shirt.
Replay the score.
Well, you guys don't count. You don't count. It's for the people that are listening.
I understand, but
Ray,
what did I have? Did I have 45?
Recognize. I nailed that shit.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a pat on the head, Shawn. Ray was 1 point off. He won week 1's t-shirt. He had a total of 41. 38-3 was his score. 1 point off. Otherwise, I would have been giving away 2 shirts. So sorry, Ray. We'll catch you on the flippity flip. I'll go back and check your scores, guys. You got any bourbon you want to quickly cover while I check these previous scores?
No,
I got Buffalo here.
I'm laying off the bourbon tonight, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Was out to dinner last night with our sister though, and place had some Elmer T. Lee. Some E.H. Taylor had a real nice selection. So yeah, had a couple last night. Some good stuff.
Where's that? Where is it?
Down by Lake Ivanhoe, just north of downtown Orlando. The Pinery.
Place.
Great little place. Yeah, nice little place. Scratch Kitchen. All Florida growers, Florida purveyors. Nice place. Had a really nice bourbon selection.
Okay.
But I'm laying off tonight, just having a nice cold Corona right now.
Oh, thought you said you're laying off. Anyway, you guys I had 37-0. Shawn had 45-3. Jeff had 42-3.
42-3.
You feel better?
Oh, I thought I went with the shutout. I knew I
Yeah.
knew better.
All right. So we got Ryan Day's press conference coming up on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll get a final announcement on the quarterback. Oh, hey, by the way, for the chat. Hey, chat folks.
What are you talking about?
Who
A final
is
announcement?
what?
Hold on, Shawn. Hold on.
Who is your starting quarterback for the chat? Hit me up. Leave your name. Obviously, you know the two names. It's Kyle and Devin. If you say Jebbia, I'm gonna kick you out. I got a fucking message on Instagram tonight from maybe it's early today. Some woman asked why they don't play the guy from Oregon State. Jebbia. She didn't even know his name. She's like, why don't they play the guy from Oregon State?
Pineholes is going to play before him.
She's obvious.
That's a total emergency spot. Pineholes will play before Jebbia because Pineholes isn't there.
No.
What?
Kineholes doesn't even know the goddamn playbook, Shawn. He just got
Neither
there.
is Jebbia. So did he.
Jebbia is QB3.
Pineholes has a ton more talent than fucking Jebbia.
All right.
And if it's a tight game and people go down, I agree. It's going to be Jebbia in there. If it's a blowout game,
Then what are we talking about?
Pineholes is going in to get playing time, not fucking Jebbia. We don't care what this guy can do in any fucking game. We're trying to build Pineholes. Jebbia is irrelevant to the Ohio State fucking program as a bigger thing. And that's the point, is no one wants to see Jebbia play, and he's never going to play. And it's going to be Pineholes.
Yeah. That's why the question threw me off. And other than she called him the guy from Oregon State.
Right. He's never going to play. Like, unless it's
There you go.
if he plays, we're fucked. We're in a bad spot.
One thing that says, Joe, is just the common fan who's not, in depth and following it like, some of, the more serious fans like us. She's not seeing what she expects to see from the quarterback position. So she's just like, well, we got a guy from Oregon State, right? Well, these two look like shit. Why not try him? Which is what a lot of fans are probably wondering. Maybe not knowing the difference in prospective talent. But the common fan is seeing what they're not impressed.
I think she's from Oregon.
That's a good
I think she's
pick,
from
yeah.
Oregon. That's why she asked.
Oh, she was just trolling us.
No, that's what I think. I don't, because she didn't actually know his name to say it.
I got
He
you.
was the guy from Oregon State.
No,
Anyways, let's get
though, Jeff.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. So let's get into our grades here for the Youngstown State game. I'm trying to keep the pace up here so we can hit on all the things, because later, I hope we have time for this. I'm trying to save time. That's why I'm keeping the pace up. Did you know that Texas and Miami are back? They're both fucking back. Same week. You didn't see that coming last week, did you?
That's a poll question.
They're
That's a
both
poll
back.
question.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I'm not
All right,
against
so-
it. I ain't against it.
All right. We'll get to it later, right?
I'm a huge fan of them. All right. Youngstown State, give me your grades. Jeff, on the offense, what's your grade on the offense as a whole, on the whole?
B-.
Okay.
And I'd say the only
improvement.
B-. The biggest bright spot. We did remember that Marv is the best player in college football, and we got him the ball. Should have had a third touchdown with that PI. That I don't see how that's not called PI when he got tackled at the two with the arm across the chest. So I say, yeah. I mean, we hit some deep balls. We got Marv and we got Ibuka the ball, and they made plays like we all know they can. Other than that, I'm not impressed with anything else. There's a lot of misses, no consistent running game. O-line, penalties, just can't take over momentum. Just, we get the pick and then we go 3 and out. It just sloppy overall. And I don't know. A lot of questions still.
Don, what do you got for the offense?
Oh, I'll
Jeff,
go
be
with
ready
the
with
C.
your MVPs.
I'll
I got
go
you.
with the
Sorry.
C. I'll go with the C.
C,
Yeah,
okay. Mid-level,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, not impressed. I mean, I'm again. What had to happen is basically what the minimum. What happened is with Marvin Abuka getting back on to some traction like that. But I mean, anyone would say I think it's a disappointment. We didn't cover. We didn't. I mean, I would have felt it would have been a lot stronger than this. The running game. I think Simmons is a problem at left tackle, and McCord did okay, better than the first game. Again, got to some of these guys, but this is, to me, I thought not winning by 40. I said it going to win. If you do not beat a D2 team or whatever we're calling the FBS, whatever, if you don't roll through and win this by 40, like easily, and you could win by 70, but by 40, and we won by 28. And that's to me, that ain't cool. That's not cool at all, because our backups and our scout team's better than these guys, and something's wrong. It's not what it should be.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go B on the offense. I like some of the things we saw. At least we were pushing the ball down the field, taking shots with both quarterbacks, not just one. Kyle had more success throwing to Marv mostly. Also, Emeka had some success there, but I like a lot of what I saw from the passing game. Obviously, the running game wasn't maybe as strong and definitely was not utilized as much as the pass game. They really wanted to get the quarterbacks going and really wanted to feed Marv and Emeka. So I'm going B. Plenty to work on, like you guys talked about with the O-line and stuff. But Jeff, what do you got for the defense?
B, like maybe a solid B. Maybe a B minus. Like that 84%, 83%. Is 83% a B minus? Probably the same grade. We got a pick finally from a corner. Spoiler alert on my defensive MVP. But they moved the ball like the opening drive. We looked like Ohio State does. Bam, bam, bam. Big play over the top. Best receiver in the country. Touchdown. And then they come back with a fucking 93-yard drive or something like that. I was fortunate enough to listen to the game on the radio and then been able to go back and watch it. So just listening to it, they didn't talk about all the missed tackles, but as I rewatched the game, missed tackles in the whole, could have been 3-yard loss. They end up getting 4 or 5. Like we have guys in the position in position, so I don't think it's like the defensive scheme is. I'm not saying the scheme is the problem. I'm saying we have guys that are put in positions to make plays, and some of them still are not. If you want names, I'll give you the names that are on top of my mind right now. But just not good enough. We should have had more sacks. There should be more pressure.
Okay.
They were balanced as far as run pass. We did not get the pass rush that I think we should be getting. Just
Okay.
All right. B minus. Not too much talent gap in that game for there to be 93-yard play 93-yard drives, or like multiple 10-play drives, 12-play drives. Those shouldn't happen against a team like Youngstown State. They fought like hell.
Shawn,
and they got some players, but
about
the same. B minus. I would say, touchdown these guys. Just to me, it's tragic that we don't have more sacks and more pressure up front and just dominating there. That long drive it's just, come on, get your stuff together. But that Sonny Styles hit was nice. I was so jacked. I jumped off the couch off that one. That was nice.
Yeah.
Expected a little more of that. High hopes, but again, I just expected every dude we got out there should just dominate all those guys. And
Yeah.
I want more out of JT and Jack Sawyer. I feel like I need more. I don't know. I didn't watch it twice. Maybe they're causing havoc and be a double teamed and whatnot, but I'm just not seeing it. Jack had a few more tackles this week at least.
Their pass rush grades are really shitty, like under 60. The only 3 good pass rush grades on the entire defense were Mike Hall at a 75.6, and he had a sack and a hurry.
Off the gut.
Caden Curry had a 72.2. Eichenberg had a 69.9. He had 2 pressures and a sack. So, that's it. Everybody else was 60 and below. That's terrible.
Joe, real quick, I'm going to pop in something that somebody mentioned on the chat earlier. Shawn Lewis is the offensive coordinator at Colorado, former Kent State head coach, who took the OC job at Colorado. So that's what we're talking about coming back to the party. Yeah. Young guy, 37 years old.
All right, thank you. I'm going B on the defense. A lot of the reasons you guys said. At least we got a turnover. We got a couple sacks. Should have been better. Cam Martinez is one of the largest blemishes on this defense right now. I would bench him and not bring him back in. They brought him back in later in the game when it was out of reach, but still, he is a problem still on that slot fade, toasted every time. I thought he was fast. I thought he was a corner essentially. No.
A senior,
so what
a senior against D2 dudes.
Yeah. And so what they had to do is they moved Jordan Hancock over to that slot when they took Sonny off the field. So where Cam was taken over for Sonny on that slot receiver, they're like, no, we got to put a corner there. So that makes the most sense of all. I don't know why this was always so challenging for the last, year and a half, that a corner should be covering a receiver in the slot. I don't know why this is so difficult.
I believe I've had that for over a year now, as far as calling it a third safety versus your nickelback is your corner. You need a corner with corner skills playing against a slot receiver, similar to the Tom Zach kid. That was not a tricky route. That was not picked by the outside receiver. That was just an outside release and up. It just to go. It was easy to defend, easy to diagnose. Tom Zach kid is not a better athlete than Cam Martinez. He can't be, right? I don't think so. But it's mind blowing.
Did we talk about is that of the famous Tom Zach family?
Yes, nephew.
So.
He's nephew of Mike Tom Zach.
Okay. All right, let's get our MVPs out of the way so we can jump into this Western Kentucky pregame. I'll lead it off. Offense, I'm going Kyle McCord, quarterback, The Ohio State University. You might have heard of him. Probably your QB1 going forward. Just need the official announcement, which better be coming Tuesday morning from Ryan Day. Kyle was much more comfortable, poised early on from the jump street. He was ready and was making plays, comfortable. Again, Ryan Day said this after the game. He said, coming out of the gate, being efficient and early in the game, in rhythm is a big deal to him. So then in the 2-minute drill, if you didn't have the 2 drops by Marv, they could have put up another touchdown there. One was on the sideline where he stretched out, didn't get his foot down. Then the other one right over the middle. It's just like, that's right in his bread basket.
Marv's got more drops already this year than all of last year.
I believe it. And so I'm going Kyle as my MVP on offense. Jeff, what do you got? Your MVP on offense.
I'm
Josh
gonna go
Simmons.
Marv. I'm gonna go Marv. Even with the drops, he proved he's the best offensive player on the field. You know, I don't know. I don't need to feel the need to give McCord any confidence. He's not gonna listen to this podcast anyways.
Oh, hey.
The offense. I still don't. The offense still it's still missing something. But I know Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to make plays if we get him the damn ball. That's something that we're not missing. But there's something missing in this offense, and I don't know who to put it on. I don't think it's Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think you're talking about the running game. But Shawn, what do you got for offensive MVP?
Well, you got, I wouldn't say you took the best on Joe, but I do just have to comment on that. You think that Ryan Day needs to say who's QB1 going forward. I can't believe that. Is anyone questioning who that is? I mean, to me, that's not even something I'm looking. I already know who. I mean, it's Kyle McCord, and that's just what we've decided. And it's not. I'd be so. I mean, it'd blow my mind if it was anything other than that. I almost think that doesn't even need to be said.
It's going to be asked, though. You know what's going to be asked. They're going to want him to confirm what everybody thinks. I mean, it'll be asked by someone.
And
sure.
Ryan Day's
he's like,
have
have you
told
not watched
us
the first
that.
2 games? He's like, haven't
Yes.
you watched the first two games? He's like, you see who my quarterback is. I've fucking shown you who my quarterback is. It's Kyle McCord.
Right.
I mean, I don't feel like why anyone would ask that question at this point. Devin Brown didn't get anything meaningful to start anything at all. And when he did get in there, he didn't look great. And not that I think McCord looks great, but frankly looks better than Brown.
And at
my
some point,
MVP.
Go
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Outside of that McCord and Brown thing, again, to me, that's not a question. It's McCord. And I'll go, you leave me 2 players left, Henderson or Abuka. I love Abuka. I'll go Henderson. I think 11-yard average, 2 touchdowns, back to what he needs to be. Looks good. Looks like why he's running back 1. And
How about those screen passes?
Let's build on that.
Where's those screen passes been?
Yeah.
I left Josh Simmons for you. I thought you might want him, Shawn.
Oh yeah. My favorite. I don't know.
The fucking guy, man. He's averaging his 17 penalties on the season already. Anyway,
What's wrong with them?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
Well, the problem is they don't feel he's not getting pulled out. So what does that tell you about the confidence they have in the next guy? He came over.
Well, yeah, because the next guy's a freshman. It's fucking Luke Montgomery, man.
That's exactly a true freshman. So like the guys we've had built in this program, the 2, 3, 4-year guys are not even getting a sniff at a guy a true freshman and a guy that came over late spring, early summer.
He's a January guy, I believe.
I like
January.
Montgomery
Okay.
almost. From what I've seen, can he do any worse? I mean, he gets beat in the inside. He's standing up. Yeah.
The hands to the face. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, did you love that part?
That was so egregious.
I'm not to interrupt, but with the hands to the face, and then who are the dipshits that were calling that game? Because the very next play, they're like, see, he
Jake
comes
Butt.
back, and they show him, look how he does it this time. I'm like, you know what? The helmet didn't come off. He could have got flagged for the same fucking thing. His hands were still in the fucking guy's face. And Butt was like, oh, see, he really bounced back on that. I'm like, what, he didn't even call for it this time. Same shit.
Right. Those announcers, Jake Butt sucks. That guy is terrible. He sucks butt. Butt sucks. But anyway, MVP's defense, I'll leave Burke for you, Jeff. I know you have a undercover love affair for Denzel Burke, so I'll let you have the Scottsdale native. I'm going Tommy. Tommy was all over the field. They had him blitzing up the middle. They had him all over. I think he had the most stops on defense, most tackles. So Tommy doesn't get enough love on this show, so I'm going to give it to him this week. Go ahead, Jeff.
That's a real good call, Joe. I think he was my other choice. Because if Tommy, he never hurts. He's never the reason that hurts us on defense. And if he is, I blame the coaches for putting him in a bad spot. But Denzel Burke showed that he's a shutdown corner. Before the season, I said I want to come out. Denzel Burke could play himself in his way into a first-round draft pick if he shows that he is a true shutdown corner. I thought he did today or yesterday. So it was good to see. He looks healthy. He looks like he's on a mission to prove he's one of the best corners in the country and bring our high state secondary back to what it used to be. With first round draft picks at corner.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but you're right, Tommy. Like I said, Tommy he's always important to the defense, always making plays, rarely messes up. And like I said, if he gets exposed with a matchup on a tight end or a receiver, I blame the coaches for putting him in that spot. So yeah, I know it should be Shawn. I don't know what you're gonna say, but it better not be anybody on that defensive line.
No, I'm going Sonny Styles just for that hit, and I expect more of it. He had a decent game. Yeah, I'm going Sonny. I go ahead with that. Expect more of it.
All right, Jeff, you had Burke, right? Berkey.
Yes.
Hicks looks like Hicks looks like a serious dude, though. Did you see Hicks?
Yeah, and but stealing Tommy
Yeah.
stealing Tommy.
Didn't really
They
do
don't
much.
make mistakes. Like they don't. I mean, CJ Hicks, he deserves to be on the field too. But the two guys that at linebacker, they don't mess up. It's not like they're not performing.
You do need to keep them fresh, though, when you're
Sure.
looking at the long term, the season. 3 months long.
Oh, you're talking about the length of the season.
The season has some length.
And Sonny Styles is only going to get. I expect him to just get better and better every single week. Just
Right.
more, just gaining experience. He has the head for it. He has the obviously the body. I think we're just going to keep seeing him making more of those plays. I saw some plays where he got sucked in on some handoff fakes. Just reading and reacting. I expect him only to get better and better. Making impact plays by the end of the season.
Right. All right, let me check on the chat here. Let's bounce back to all right, Billy, I got you on Sean Lewis. I don't know if he's going to leave Colorado, but Odysseus says we couldn't generate a consistent pass rush, right? Billy says our front four does need to start getting home. I want OSU's D to play like Brown's D did today. I don't know what you're talking about, Billy. I don't watch that.
Neither do I. I know they won, but
quarterbacks. For the quarterbacks, Odysseus says McCord. Billy says McCord. Jeremiah says McCord. Odysseus asks, where did the Devin Brown has speed as a runner come from?
I know.
The media.
Agreed. What is that
fucking
about?
Media. Yeah. It's great, even if he had speed, but you got to hang on the goddamn ball. And anyway, Odysseus says offense C-, defense a B. So right in line with us, basically. Billy says when the D let them score on the first drive, I turned off the game for a while.
I know. So disappointing.
That was disconcerting.
It's like fucking A.
Well, when you give up that third down, like a 36-yard fade, they're in their own territory too. They're on their side of midfield, and then they give up a third down, fade to the slot right over Cam Martinez. I'm like, holy fuck! I just saw this like 11 months ago in Michigan versus Michigan. Exact same play. Anyway, continuing. Third down defense wasn't up to standard. No, they actually did better than Ohio State in third downs. They were 7 of 12. We were 5 of 12 on third down conversions.
That just can't happen. Youngstown State should not be 7 of 12 on third down.
We should not be 5 of 12.
That's disgusting.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. They took 7 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock to start the third quarter from Odysseus. That's a great point. The new clock rules are really screwing teams like ours. Billy says, is Sawyer and JT not getting home because they're overrated or not developed properly? I don't know if it's either one. They were both legit 5-stars coming out of high school.
The one and two defensive ends in the country, number 1 and number 2 DNs in the country,
right?
From every service.
I think Jack.
What I saw a lot, Joe. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go on.
I was just what I saw a lot from JT was trying to do that speed rush, but going way too wide and making it easy for the tackle to just kind of keep fading him outside. And he just ran past the quarterback a lot. I mean, probably 3 or 4 different plays. He could get around the tackle, but the tackle was, it's like the tackle, he couldn't even get out that far to get him. And he was way past the quarterback. So the quarterback steps up a couple drives. That's real easy for the quarterback to read. You try that, mix that with a bull rush and that inside. Now that quarterback doesn't know if he's going to take another step back, have to move up in the pocket, and then you're letting those guys up the middle and get them.
I would say for this game particularly, we can only talk about one game at a time here. I'm not going to make broad statements about the DNs because if you look at it, none of the DNs got home. Even when they brought in Kenyatta, Caden Curry, Amari Abor, which we thought was going to be on multiple months recovery, was out there in a RoboCop leg. He was out there rushing the passer, but nobody got home except for Mike Hall right up the gut and Tommy Eichenberg right up the gut on a blitz.
So and all these guys
I don't think they're overrated.
I mean, what is it?
And I'm not going to say that they're underdeveloped either because Larry Johnson's their freaking coach. It's like saying our receivers are underdeveloped.
Yeah, we have proven coaches on that. Our defensive coordinator, defensive line coach, linebacker coach is the D coordinator, and in threes being involved. We have the guys that have proven great teachers. Right. And and they're great recruits. They're highly recruited. They all seem to be healthy. Yeah. I mean, what is it as far as them all being in sync? I mean, I'm not really seeing them taking off play, like being lazy, but
Odysseus, they're actually not both strong side DNs. JT is your strong side. Jack is your weak side. So they are kind of split up. I understand, though, you could mix them up with Curry and Kenyatta. They did that a little bit, but I don't know if that's going to change anything because none of them got home. None of those guys got sacks. No matter how you split them up, I don't think it matters, So anyways, let's keep it moving here on the chat before we get into the WKU LMNOP. Odysseus, run blocking. Billy, run calling. I don't know what that means. Odysseus says, don't want to see any more stretch to the weak side. Well, stretch to the weak side does suck, especially when it goes into the boundary. Why would you not run stretch to the wide side where you have so much open green grass to graze on? Doesn't make sense. Ryan Day has that bug up his ass. It's one of those things he gets like things that he will not budge on. And he's been doing it for 2 years now. Anyways.
Stubborn. Stubborn on wanting to prove something.
Right. Stephen Cherry says, I told y'all Texas would win. Yeehaw, Stephen. Odysseus says, MVP Burke on defense, offense Marv. Billy says, Ewers can finally throw a deep ball. Yeah, they got good receivers, although Worthy did drop a couple. Odysseus says Bama QB lost that game. That pick down 4 was head scratching. That entire quarterback situation is head scratching, in my opinion. Anyway, keep it moving. We'll get to the other games hopefully in a minute. Steven says JT and Sawyer not getting it done. No other way to put it. Well, no, it's pretty obvious. Caveman, what's up, Caveman? Good to see you. The coaching staff said it several times. All right. Steven says Larry Johnson has never bought into Jim Knowles' system, and it's reflecting in his defensive line play. I don't know if the system has anything to do with the guys not getting home. It's not like Jim Knowles' system is curbing them or restraining them, right? Am I crazy?
It's not. No, I mean his system at Oklahoma State was they brought pressure all the time. They and they didn't have nearly the athletes we have here. I think there might be something though between the two of them, but that could just be They don't
jive
stuff
on the jack.
They might not jive overall, and right. I don't. Yeah, you can't say that's permeating down to the guys in Larry's room where he's talking shit about his about their D coordinator to the kids, right. and the kids aren't buying in. That would be shocking. That would be Larry Johnson's too much of a professional to hear to have something like that happen. I think. It's my.
Dave's not allowing that type of vibe at the place either.
That would be snuffed out.
Yes, I like I said, that would be too much to handle. There's going to be a heavy pass next week. Hopefully we see it. Hopefully we see improvement.
We'll get into some numbers that will maybe make it move. Stevens, Billy says, well, it's got to change. Steven agreed. I don't know. I think you're just grasping at straws here between the coaching issues. I think Larry Johnson and Jim Knowles don't agree on the jack position. That's why Jack Sawyer is back at defensive end. But all in all, Jim Knowles is not telling Larry Johnson how to rush his front four. I mean, what are you going to tell him? Don't make them rush. I mean, there's no. I don't know what kind of direction Jim Knowles could be telling Larry Johnson to stop the pass rush. The pass rush techniques are all the same, from fucking Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Sam Hubbard, all the way up and down the line, even going back to Penn State. The techniques are the techniques. I mean, what are we talking about here? The scissor hand, the side scissors.
When I say, I think a lot of times, a lot of those guys, they get too comfortable choosing one technique and not mixing it up maybe enough. Whereas the offensive line are able to play against them. They're predictable in their technique. Which one? Are you outside or bull rush or whatever? So, it's hard to say. But hopefully we just see improvement with more passing offenses.
Steve, I don't know what your comment means. We never thought a player would quit in the middle of a game. Remember Pope. What does that have to do with the defensive line coaches, or with the defensive line coach in the DC affecting the defensive line play? That has nothing to do with it. Let's get on to the Western Kentucky pregame here. Appreciate you though, Stephen. 4:00 on Fox. Western Kentucky comes to town. A rando 4:00 game. Is this on like a Sunday or something? Why is it 4:00? Anyway, WKU 2-0 this year. Oh fuck! I forgot to look up what they were last year. They were really good last year. Here it is. They were 10-4. Is that right?
Conference championship game and a bowl game,
something like that. Yeah. All right. So this team's pretty good. I mean, in Conference USA, anyways. Head coach is Tyson Helton. Yes, you might recognize that last name. His brother is Clay Helton. He started off. Let me run through his resume quickly. He was the OC at Western Kentucky back in 2014 and 15. 2016, he was hired at USC by his brother to be quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator. 2016, he was named Football Scoop Quarterbacks Coach of the Year. Sam Darnold was his quarterback, by the way, so not sure how much coaching was done there. Anyway, 2017, this one was interesting to me as I perused. He was hired as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Tennessee under, say it with me, Jeremy Pruitt. Interesting. Mr. McDonald's bags. Anyway, November 2018, Helton was hired as head coach at Western Kentucky. He also worked at Cincinnati, UAB, Memphis, and Hawaii. Now, WKU has tied UTSA for the best record in Conference USA. A lot of acronyms here. Stick with me. The last 4 years, they are both 23-8 over the last 4 years. But WKU has not won a league title yet. So looking at their offense, last year they had to replace their offensive coordinator, their quarterback, their top wide receiver, but they still put up 497 yards per game, 36 points per game in 2022 after all those replacements.
Yeah.
There you go. What that was. Quarterback, Austin Reed. That's a trigger man. He's back. He's got his top running backs, top wide receiver, Malachi Corley. That's your dude to watch. And a familiar name we all might know and love, wide receiver. You're my boy, Blue Smith is running with the Hilltoppers at 6'4", 210. They got him at receiver. He was a tight end when he came into Columbus. Remember Blue? No? Okay. Keep it moving. WKU was too late. WKU was number one last year in conference. They were plus 136 yards per game over everybody else. Phil Steele, in his rankings in the preseason this year, he has the quarterback position for WKU ranked 27th in the country. Keep in mind, he has Ohio State's 43rd. Yeah, 43rd. Anyway, and he has their wide receiver group ranked 17th.
And ours being number one, I'm guessing. I would imagine.
Yeah. Ohio State's was number one in the
They
country.
they like to
Phil
swing
Steele.
it. They can swing it.
Yep. I got some numbers here. I'm going to really tell you about their slinging prospects as I open multiple tabs on my browser because I'm a big tab in the browser guy. You can't have too many. I'm glad there are no limits. All right. So here we go. Yards per game currently for 2023. Western Kentucky is 26th in the country. They've put up 465 yards per game. They have played. They have played South Florida and Houston Christian. Never heard of Houston Christian. Anyway, so 26th in the country, allowing 465 yards a game. Last year, I'm sorry, that they put up 465. This is offense. Last year, they put up 506.7 per game. Now, plays per game. These dudes run some serious plays, even with so far the shitty clock. These guys are 36 in the country, running 73 per game. Last year, they ran 75.4. So be ready. You're going to be getting some tempo on the defense, not just passing. They're not just throwing the ball around. They're doing it quickly. Yards per play, they averaged 6.4 this year. They were at 6.7 last year. Third down conversions, they're at 6 per game. Last year, they were at 5.6. They're 50th in the country right now. So not great. They throw it a lot, but don't get a lot of third down conversions. But in attempts per game, passing attempts per game, number one in the country right now at 50, a dead 50. Passing attempts per game, that's 1.5 more than Temple. Last year, they were at 45.2. And
so 50 out of their 73 plays are passing on average. That's a big discrepancy.
But
between running and passing.
Here's an issue. Their completion percentage right now is 58%. Last year it was 64.6. So they might run a lot of plays and they might throw a lot of balls, but a lot of them don't get completed. And lastly, here on the offense, the yards per completion is only 11.6. That's 66 in the country. Last year, they were at 12.2. So 66 in the country is not overly impressive. The Buckeyes passing, just for comparison, is 11.3 per completion. So right behind them. Quarterback sacks, they've allowed 0 so far in 2023. Last year, they averaged 1.1 per game allowed.
Probably a lot of bubble screen, a lot of quick release.
Out early.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, guys to watch, Malachi Corley, Blue Smith. They got a couple other here, receivers here. Messer, this guy, Easton Messer is his name. Jimmy Holiday. Blues put up some decent numbers, but he's a super tall receiver. He's like a really big dude. But running game is almost non-existent. They might run for 100 yards a game against these shitty teams. So any thoughts on the offense?
Yeah, the last time they ran up against a big time team was Auburn, and Auburn destroyed them. And so I expect much of the same. I don't think they're going to have the lines to deal with us. Yeah, they beat up on Houston Christian and USF and USA and some of those. They
beat up on the USA?
It'll overwhelm them.
Yeah.
I think it's from what those stats. I mean, they're middle of the road in the nation. It's as far as being so far leaning to the pass versus run. They're middle of the road on pretty much most of those stats. It seems like the ideal game for us to work, to improve our pass rush. Also, our workout for our DBs coming against Sam Hartman the following week, because Hartman's going to be able to test us. I'd be interested to see what kind of what our lineup might look like as far as our defensive sets. Are we still going to be going a 4-2-5, or are we going to be doing more? There's going to be a lot of 6 DBs in there, so are we doing we're going to be 4 down linemen and 1 linebacker? Who are we going to be bringing in versus who are we going to be taking out? Because they're going to chuck the ball around. It doesn't look like at all like they're going to try to run the ball against us. But our DBs we definitely need to practice, I think, going into the following week. The turnover margin should be +3 on the Ohio State side, at least. Bold prediction. Ohio State, we come out of their turnover battle +3.
Not ready for that, but keep that in your memory banks. Okay. Let's get to the defense now. I got some more numbers to throw at you real quick. Oh, shit. The spread is interesting when we get to that. Anyway, this is opponents' point per game. So this is the Western Kentucky defense. They're allowing 24 per game. That's 56 in the country. Last year, they were at 23.2. Opponent red zone scores. So these are touchdowns and field goals. They're allowing 2 per game. Again, look at their schedule. They played fucking USF and something called Houston Christian. So they're 29th in the country, allowing 2 per game. Last year, though, over the season, they allowed 2.9. Next up, we have rushing yards per game. This is where the Buckeyes look to make some hay. Yeah, they're last right now in the country.
In what?
They've allowed 374 in that's per game. Dead ass last. Last year they allowed 147.6. Last year they weren't bad, but
and USF is trash.
keep that in mind.
I don't know about Houston Christian or whatever, but USF is a very one of the probably poorest teams in
Right.
Division I this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Houston
opponent-
Christian doesn't sound like Division One.
no.
It does not. No, it does
No.
not at all.
So it's one of those games that
opponent
looks like
passing yards. Let me
Yeah,
bang
go
out
ahead, Joe.
these
Sorry.
last four.
Yep.
Opponent passing yards per game. Just digest them and see what comes out later. Opponent yards per game passing. They're only allowing 166. So it sounds to me like they got run the shit on, against USF. USF just probably just pounded the shit out of them and didn't throw it. Last year, though, they allowed 241.8 passing per game. Sacks per game. They have five even. They're fourth in the country right now. They have 5 sacks per game. Last year they had 2.1, so that might be a little high again going against Houston Christian. Next up, takeaways. They have 3 on the season per game. This is per game average. So
That's per game
2
average.
yeah, so obviously they
Really?
got 3 each game.
Yeah.
2.2 was their average last year. And then penalties, team penalties for the entire team, not just defense, was 9 per game, is 9 per game, was 6.1 last year. So that's 114th in the country right now. So keep your head on a swivel when you're around those fuckers.
That
Clean
jumps
it
out
up.
to me.
Typically,
The-
boy. Typically.
Yeah. Keep
No,
it fair.
I
keep
don't
it
feel
fair.
like that's no. It's to me that's undisciplined. Remember when we were getting tons of those penalties? It's not because we were dirty. It's because we were just undisciplined and holding and jumping outside and just doing
Right.
stupid shit.
Right. Hands to the face.
Bad things to the face.
The turnovers jump out at me though. Getting 3 turnovers a game while getting ran on ridiculously. That to still get 3 turnovers, to still force 3 turnovers in each game. That's wow.
How do you do that?
But I mean, you're giving up that many rushing yards, but I guess I don't know. It sounds more and more, Joe. This is like the perfect remedy for us to get our run game in order and our pass rush in order. I mean, this is like what we need, I think.
All right. So let's get into our score predictions. Spread is 27. Buckeyes by 27. Over under is 63. So they're definitely expecting some points from the Hilltoppers.
Everybody.
Yeah. Shawn, let's start with you. What do you got for your score prediction? Everybody, sorry, Shawn. Everybody get your score predictions in. This is how you win yourself a free t-shirt or a hat. Keep in mind, short sleeve t-shirt or what is known as a t-shirt, not those long sleeve jobs. Those are like, extra. So pick yourself a t-shirt or a hat, predict the score, win some merch. You get to choose the design too. Anyway, sorry, Shawn, go ahead with your score prediction.
I'm gonna go 34-10.
Ooh. Ohio State wins,
Yes.
but doesn't cover.
Yes. Why would they cover?
Yeah.
They haven't covered yet. They haven't covered yet.
Nobody
Oh, yeah,
covers
coming
anymore. Nobody hits the over. Now, if you only get 9 possessions in a game.
And so
Jeff, what do you
you're
got?
acting like like you're surprised I went that way.
No. I didn't know you'd put them together so quickly.
Okay. I'm looking 48-17.
Ooh,
Get the over at 65, right? Is my math right there?
sure.
48-17. We get Cover City and the over. First time we finally get right. Over 200 yards rushing. I think we pound the shit out of them, win the turnover margin. But still we give up points and we're not fully satisfied after the game.
Oh, I hate being unsatisfied. All right. I'm going I'm going 38-10. Buckeyes cover, but obviously not the over.
Way under.
I know we're gonna probably work on some things. Obviously, the O-line is key number one, but I think according to those stats, you guys are right that the running game is going to get some tailoring and some attention, and then let Kyle get right, and he has to get the bulk of the snaps here. This has to be Kyle's game till the fourth quarter and hand it over to Devin, and it's the way it is. Keep in mind, this just popped in my head. Guys cannot pop into the portal. Everybody thinks that we have to keep somebody happy just to keep them on the team. No, the portal does not reopen until like December 4th or something, after the season is long over. So
they can leave the program. They can leave, but they can't.
Oh, yeah,
they can leave the program, but they're not able to. Yes,
if they want, unless they're a graduate. If you're a grad, obviously, but you got to be 3-4 years at least, to be a grad. Then you can pop in the portal and pop out anytime. But other than that, like in Devin Brown's case, he can't just leave the team and pop in the portal. Otherwise, what are you going to do? I mean, I guess you could go home and work out, but wouldn't it be better to be around a football program like Ohio State and continue to get the work, the reps, even though they're second team reps? But I just wanted to point that out. Some people are misguided, even national. I've heard national podcasts talk about guys leaving and jumping into portal. I'm like, God, that can't happen. There are rules. Very few, but there are some rules. Anyway, that just popped in my head there. 38-10 is what I got for my score. Folks, make sure you get your scores in. I promise I will copy down your scores from the chat.
Did you write mine down? I didn't.
Yep. I got you 34-10, Shawn. Correctamundo?
Yep.
Right. All right. Let's get into our microscopes then. I'm going to lead it off before somebody else takes him. I'm taking Trey. Trey is my microscope on offense. Obviously, I expect him to go big time off on these Hilltoppers. He's going to run up and down your hilltop. All right, Shawn, what do you got for offense?
I'll go train him. I don't think that I think Henderson's he's gonna have some good numbers, but I think pulled early. I don't think you're gonna want to get the hits and stuff on Trey going into Notre Dame. So I think you'll get a little bit. I'll bet between carries, I'm thinking Trey and Trey have about the same number of carries, and I expect about with the same results. So I expect Trey over 100-year Trey, and probably 2 touchdowns, and then Trey I'm thinking close to 100 with a touchdown himself.
All right, finally get Chipper in the end zone. I like it. So heavy run game is what we're looking for. Jeff, you gonna mix it up and go a different route?
Can I do the O-line as a whole, or do you want me to pick out one of those 5?
No, on the whole, you should choose somebody.
Okay.
That's what she said.
I've written off right now. I'm written off Jackson.
It gets soft and dry.
Give me Donovan Jackson. You're supposed to be an All-American. Play like an All-American. Dominate the run game. Donovan Jackson, show me you're a pro offensive lineman.
It's hard to make up for it with numbnuts next to you when you
you're in the
playing
bag
for 2 over there.
And we might not even know because of that, Shawn. We might not even know what his grade will be until after the game. We might look and say, "Oh, they missed a block over there," but we don't know if it was one guy or the others. So the final grade on Donovan Jackson after that game better be in the 90s.
He was a 85-9 run blocking this past week, and then a 76-8 pass blocking. So up and down, kind of. He allowed one pressure and a hurry.
And I'm not putting all the blame on him. I just want to spotlight. He's supposed to be our best lineman. That's why I'm putting the spotlight on him. You're the best one.
Well, for
Be
sure,
the leader.
he should
Yeah.
be a first round pick, right?
Right. This is a contract year for him, in my opinion.
The spotlight is going to be on the whole O-line as a
Right.
whole to be able to do what they're supposed to be doing. But Donovan Jackson on offense.
Mhm. All right, so let's flip it over to the defense. I'm going. This is a tough one. Corner is the easy choice, but where I'm seeing some issues is at the safety, especially the deep safety.
Yeah, okay,
Whether
you're right
it's
with me. I'm
Hartford,
right
I don't
there.
know. I don't know if Hartford was benched for performance or if he was dinged up. He got the start this week, but he didn't play much at all. Carter got most of the snaps. And Proctor didn't play at all. He had ice on his leg last week, I believe on his ankle. So could have been an injury issue there. Also, you don't why put him out there against fucking Youngstown State
Exactly.
to injure it further. So I'm going Carter. I assume Carter is going to be your starter.
Yeah,
Is Carter the one that just about and probably should have take my Homer glasses off? We had targeting late that they didn't call targeting.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about. To me, that was targeting.
There's a shoulder to the
Fucking
upper
head.
Yeah,
While the guys
well,
laying
Igbenosin
down.
had one too. Igbenosin had one in
Yes,
week 1.
agreed.
That they called that one off too, but yeah, I don't. Jim Knowles said you don't want to stop their aggression, but at some point it's gonna come back to haunt you, I would think. But so who do you got on defense?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, Shawn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Sonny Styles.
Okay. You got it.
That
Sunny
safety
side up.
hybrid. I don't even know what to make of the safety thing because I feel like there's 6 different guys that play back there. I have no idea who plays.
Well, I'm
And
afraid
the
Sonny
only
might
time-
be on the sideline a lot this week.
That's kind of what I was getting at, Joe. What are we going to be looking at as far as with their 4 or 5 wide receivers? I don't see how you take Sonny off the field. I think you put him on Blue Smith. I think a 6'4", 215 guy, put fucking Sonny Styles on him. And just let Sonny play and see if he can. If now Sonny is constantly getting beat, well, yeah, then you make adjustments, but give him a chance. I don't want to put an undersized Cam Martinez against a big guy and then just play fucking little man against him. I'll just go with my spotlight. You got Jahai Carter and we got Sonny Styles, Lathan Ransom.
Okay, that's good.
You make some plays, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
I think the corners are going to play great. I think our safeties, they're all going to be in the game. They're all going to be asked to cover and make plays in the passing game. Make some plays, get some turnovers, hands on balls. Make your presence felt. And I haven't seen it from Lathan Ransom yet either. So all 3 safeties in the spotlight this week.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, folks, make sure you get your predictions in the chat. Let me scroll back up here before we move on. Boy. Stretch, run calling. I think we talked about that.
I called the 34-10 because I'm not a believer in our offense yet. I think we will run the ball, but I'm worried. If we don't score 40 plus, pushing 50 on this game, I'm concerned going into Notre Dame. This should be a gimme.
Okay. Let me get on the chat here. Odysseus says we need to feed on sacks. That's right. Is Houston Christian Division II? Yeah, I don't know. Full-blooded Buckeye says Tucker is on the phone right now. Stop. Odysseus says they're FCS. Steven says Buckeyes 48-24 over Western Kentucky. Billy says Division I AA, Ohio State. Oh, Odysseus has Ohio State 55-14. Full-blooded Buckeye says, let's get the big officiating in order. That's another topic. That's a whole show right there. Fuck me, man. How those guys miss some of those PI calls is beyond me. Anyway, full-blooded Buckeye. Oh, Billy says 45-17. Full-blooded Buckeye says WKU isn't scoring more than 10. Odysseus says no way Day is starting McCord because his dad wants him to. Day's dad? What?
No, definitely not. Day's dad. He's not with us.
Right.
That,
I know that.
These guys got to clarify on the chat. I'm not sure what that means either. I've never heard anything about McCord's dad making any kind of comments.
It's from another show. Another podcast is claiming that Kyle McCord's dad is pressuring. I don't know.
No, I don't think. I don't
We're
think
just
Dave
talking
goes
out-
into that.
Was
out
there a
loud.
rumor after the
Yeah.
first game that Marvin Sr. like put up Emeka and his son stats and then deleted that tweet or something?
I'm not aware of that one. I was
I
talking about
thought it-
McCord's dad.
I thought I
But-
heard that.
Oh, that'd be weird. Yeah.
That's why it was brought
Dad's
down
gotta sh-
quick.
I think.
Yeah.
I think obviously McCord gets all the reps this week. McCord is the starting quarterback because they got to have one guy going in the South Bend next week. I
Yeah,
think, but
agreed.
I think if we see Devin Brown playing this week, it's going to be killing clock. You know what I mean? That maybe last drive of the game, last couple drives of the game, it's comfortable, it's in the bag. We're just running out the clock. So I'm not saying we won't see Devin Brown, but Kyle McCord will be getting all significant, real. I guess. When the game's not decided yet, McCord should be the only quarterback in there in playing.
Yeah.
We got to get this offense squared away and in some kind of rhythm, and figure out how to move smoothly. We're not consistent at all at almost any position. So I think McCord has to be the main guy. Like I said, until it's all backups, until second teams come in, kill the clock, then Devin comes in.
It's all
if it's
there.
anything
Just
other
gotta
than
put
that-
it together. It's like my
Yeah.
golf game. When my irons are good, I can't putt. Well, my driver's never been on. So my driver's on, but that ain't never been on. So, but you can't put out. You need the run game, the pass game, all of it. And even in 2 games, we've seen a little bit of all of it. But it's spotty and it's here and there. Need to tie it all together. There's hope.
I think it's a get right game. I think we pick up the numbers that we expect to see. We score on defense. I think one of those touchdowns is on defense,
Okay.
or at least
Let me continue on the chat here. We got to touch on a couple games. Odysseus says trust Proctor versus pass heavy teams. That's surprising to me. I don't.
if he's healthy.
Odysseus says Cam Martinez versus Blue Smith. No.
Right.
Steven says not worried about offense. I'm worried about big plays on defense. You and me both, brother. Jeremiah says 45-14 Buckeyes. Full-blooded Buckeye says I don't give a rat's ass about turnovers. Just get the opponent to punt and keep them on the end zone. Steven says Notre Dame is decent, but let's not oversell them. If we come ready, we win by at least 14. Yeah. NC State was giving them a ball game into the fourth quarter.
Well, we haven't seen
Even
us be
with
ready
the
yet, though.
weather
That's
delay.
why there's questions. That's why we're concerned, because we haven't seen us play like we think we can. So until they prove it next week, I'm going to be concerned, real concerned.
Okay. Real concerned. All right. So quickly, we got 5 minutes to cover Texas and Bama. And if you want to talk about Texas A&M and Miami, we're not going to do that.
No,
So-
please no.
And we're not going to talk about Nebraska, Colorado either. So Bama, Texas. Who wants to lead it off?
I give
Go
you
in
2
any
quick
direction.
takes, Joe. Joe, I'll give you 2 quick takes.
Perfect.
Bama came out hitting intense, making hitting hard. Texas, that's the Quinn Ewers we thought we were all going to get. When he committed to us, that's the Quinn Ewers we were expecting to be able to play big in big games. Bama's down a notch overall. Bama's still a top 10 team in the country. They overall as a team, but you see the quarterback difference. Ewers, Milroe, night and day. I'm not saying Texas is back. I still think they'll shit the bed. But I think Bama's fallen back a little bit to the crowd, and Texas is ascending. But that's their first big win they've had since 2005, probably.
Really?
And Caleb Downs looked awesome for Bama. God damn it, though. Every time I see him on the field. That was it. That's everything. Bama's down, and Texas is moving up, but Texas is not.
I think
they're not top 5 in the country yet.
But Bama actually reminds me of us right now a little bit. Bama's still Bama. They're not getting the quarterback play that they're accustomed to, I don't feel, right now. Not that they won't, not that they can't, not that it can't be this guy, but I kind of feel a little similar situation with them right now. We haven't lost, thank God. But yeah, Bama's in a spot and they're going to lose another one or two, I feel.
Yeah, their secondary is getting used and abused. All of them. I mean, this is not just one guy or one position. I was looking at the coverage grades today from just the Texas game alone. Malachi Moore, he was targeted big time. 8 targets, 5 completions for 40 yards. Even Caleb Downs was targeted. I mean, obviously he's a safety. You should go at him. 4 receptions on 5 targets, touchdown allowed. Kool-Aid McKinstry got worked for a touchdown, 4 on 5 targets for 47 yards. Tresman Marshall, he's a middle linebacker. That doesn't count. Strong safety, Story Christian, couple targets. Who else? Trey Amos, he allowed a touchdown, 39-yard long one. So these guys are all gave up big time passes, like 50, 44, 39, 34, 32. Those guys all gave up monster. That's just one play. That's their longest.
Right. And a lot of teams in the country won't be able to go over the top against them because Bama's run. All those guys you talked about, especially Malachi and Caleb Downs, great against the run. Monster hitters. So a lot of teams, if you don't have the talent that Texas does on the outside, may not be able to go over top and burn them deep. But man, they're great against the run. Texas couldn't do shit on the ground. But yeah, they don't have coverage guys. I still take Malachi Moore on my defense. I just stick him right at outside linebacker. Let him just hunt. But yeah, I mean, if you got a quarterback and the receivers to target them,
they got double-digit missed tackles here.
Wow.
On run defense, Caleb Downs.
I might have to go back and watch that game then, because it's not the impression that I left the game with.
Wait,
I have to go back and rewatch that again.
I got 12 missed tackles.
Is Texas in the SEC this year or
no?
So I like Texas to roll through the Big Ten and get
Big
a
12,
bid.
yeah.
Okay. They were getting some serious pressure, but Milroe left a lot of clean pockets just to run around. He doesn't seem comfortable back there at all.
Well, who in the Big 12 can even give them a game? Kansas, K-State,
Oklahoma. That's about it, probably.
And they blew Oklahoma out of the water last year. Who knows? We don't know. I mean, they're in the driver's seat. They're going to get mad love all season and get benefit of the doubt for that Bama win, especially in Tuscaloosa.
Right. They're definitely
But,
gonna get thrust into that top 4 or 5.
There were
by
3
the end of
today,
the
right?
year.
Yeah, they came
I mean,
out.
by
They
the
came
end
out.
of the year.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, assuming they don't lose, maybe, I mean, you got a couple cupcakes, then Oklahoma, then K-State. That's about it.
Wouldn't want to be the next team that plays Alabama.
Oh no, they got USF.
LSU's coming up soon, though, right? I think that's
Are
the next
they?
big game for Bama.
Yes.
That's a while. LSU.
And that,
Oh,
and that
that's
earlier, I thought that was first week
November.
of
No.
October. Oh shit!
No,
Okay, I
they
misread that.
got
Then.
Ole Miss after this week. Mississippi State, A&M. They go to A&M early October.
Okay, that's the one I
They
got
have
them switched.
Tennessee
LSU
at
and A&M.
home. Tennessee at home might be the toughest one. A&M's not even ranked. They might be after this week slightly. No, they won't.
The A&M defense, that end of that Miami game,
Yeah.
Miami is not that electric.
Yeah. All right.
I'll pass on both those teams.
All right.
Jimbo.
Make sure you get your scores in here. You can drop it in the comments on this video if you haven't gotten it into the chat, but I will take care to copy the chat all night long, baby, and get all the scores here. Just did it. So chat, copy, paste. There we go. I have the entire chat copied. So, all right.
Yep.
You got all week to get your scores in. You got to just leave it in a comment on one of the videos. Tomorrow you got the Daily Blitz focused on the offensive grades and stats. Tuesday is defense. Wednesday, we'll talk about the Ryan Day press conference and any highlights from there. I'll have his clips and stuff. Oh, and film breakdown is coming back. You guys liked it last week. Got some good feedback from you. So we're doing the film breakdown with actual film of the show, of the game, show game. So I'll be talking next to the clips. So hopefully, I think I'm going to focus on the quarterbacks and O-line. And if we have some other areas, like maybe Cam Martinez, I'll show you that. So anyway.
Okay. Hey, one thing, Joe, I'll be coming to you guys live from Asheville, North Carolina next week. Another roadie for me. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next weekend's birthday, the only birthday trip, the only trip I make of the year, birthday weekend. So
Happy birthday.
Okay. Oh yeah, dude, get in touch with me offline. I got a couple things you need to do while you're there.
For sure.
And it doesn't include farm animals this time.
Yeah, that was a bad night. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate everybody joining us. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.
Peace.
Peace.